hands by attack. Hi everyone, welcome to the Jonhson Mclang Show. Season 2, episode 45, I think, of 100. Let's get started. So we got a update on this midterm action prediction from 538.com. I got the House of Representatives on here. It's from September 18th, 2022, which is on Sunday. So Republicans are favored to win the House of Representatives. Republicans win 72% likely to win the House, which is great. We're getting rid of Nancy Pelosi for sure. And this is a poll from 538 and ABC News, which are, I guess, Democrats think they're true news sources. So Republicans are 72% chance to win the House of Representatives, and Democrats are 28% chance of winning the House of Representatives. So Republicans have a better chance of winning the House of Representatives, which is great. And they say that the Senate has has a 60% chance of winning. Republicans have a 60% chance or 50% chance of winning the Senate.
From now on, please don't ask me if I'm okay, because I'll probably do something really...
Okay, let's get started with some news stories. Let me find some. Oh wow, this is a scary number from GOP. 203,597 encounters at the border in August. So the border crisis is getting worse, folks. Hey, man, that's a big number. I saw this. This is a news story from GOP official Instagram. So, wow. We need help with the border. Texas and Arizona and Nevada and California. Now, California, Nevada, and Arizona may not in it. And that we have a border crisis. Well, they have a border crisis. And Texas has a border crisis. And Arizona, California, and Nevada may think we don't have a crisis at the border, but we do. So Biden and Harris and their administration needs to take action. I'm glad that Florida is taking action, sending migrants to Martha's Vineyard, and which is Democrats are not liking it, but it's still better than having them in the U.S. Well, not in the U.S., but in throughout the whole country, causing dangers to most Americans. So, but still, that's a big number. We need to take action. We need to have a law. It's time. Man, that's crazy. That's another reason why we need to vote Republican for Congress, because all states are border states now. And it's a really dangerous thing. It really is. So that's another reason why we need to vote Republican for this November. Now let's get to some news stories, if I can find any. Okay. Dem candidate walks back a parrot called flea violent. I don't know. Give me a break. It's exclusive. DeSantis goes after Igbo hypocrisy on border. Let's read. This is from Fox. Oh my God. DeSantis pushes back against critics. Where to freak out over migrants? Why? Where's the freak out over migrants dying in Rio Grande trailers? The Florida governor said there were a lot of virtue signaling from the left. Let's listen to this.
There are jobs available in Martha's Vineyard. There is lodging available in Martha's Vineyard. Had they lived up to what they built themselves at as a sanctuary jurisdiction, they could have absorbed those people without a problem.
This pushes back against critics. Where's the freak out over migrants dying in Rio Grande trailers? The Florida governor said there was a lot of virtue signaling from the left. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis hit back at critics after he flew 50 migrants to Martha's Vineyard last week on Hannity. Ron DeSantis, well, Sean, it's really frustrating. Because you have been covering this. Millions of people since Biden has been president illegally coming across the southern border. Did they freak out about that? No. You had migrants die in the Rio Grande. You had 50 die in Texas in a trailer because they were being neglected. Yep. Was there a freak out about that? No, there wasn't. You've had criminal aliens get across the southern border and victimize Americans, killing some and raping some. Was there any type of outrage about that? No. And then, of course, we know fentanyl deaths are at an all-time high. Where's that fentanyl coming from? It's coming over the open southern border.
Yep.
It's only when 50 get put into Martha's Vineyard, which wasn't saying they didn't want this. They said they were a sanctuary jurisdiction. These are people who were basically destitute and put in a situation where they could have succeeded, but that was all virtue signaling, and not only did they not welcome them, they deported them the next day with the National Guard.
I agree, yeah.
Give me a break.
Yep.
Watch the full interview here.
Okay. Yep. DeSantis is smart. I love it. Thurman campaign, which is Thurman is running for Senate in Pennsylvania against Dr. Oz, walks back a parent to call flee every convicted second-degree murderer. Oh my gosh! So I guess Thurman, that's running for Senate in Pennsylvania, is wanting to flee everybody that was convicted in second-degree murder. That is horrible. That's our Democrat Party right now. That's so horrible. We shouldn't do that. Thurman has taken that heat for a position on crime in Pennsylvania Senate race. Let's hear about this. If you can, I don't know. Can you read it to me? I don't know if you can or not. Wow.
The future of medicine is here.
AbbVie is creating this massive connectivity between all the great minds everywhere around the world.
We're all working collectively to find that next frontier.
The patient is our North Star. AbbVie is committed to transforming their lives.
I have a completely different outlook.
They are fighting
That's
for
horrible. If he's running for Senate. I don't know. That's crazy. So don't vote for Vitamin in Pennsylvania. Vote for Dr. Oz, please, because that's crazy. Drilling down. Biden admin sides against Native Americans. Ooh, and oil leasing crackdown. Ooh, that's good. What's this one? Let's watch that. I wish what happened? Biden administration sides against Native Americans and crackdown on oil leasing near interest and I don't know. Biden administration quote listening to more the environmentalist people, Navajo Nation citizen of Alter Land tells Fox News Digital. Wow. Okay, Biden administration is expected to soon finalize a rule banning oil and gas leasing near a Native American historical site, despite heavy opposition from local indigenous leaders. Say the administration's rule would prevent them from collecting royalties on their land. Wow. So we're going against, Biden's going against Native American. So, and this is not good because they're banning, once again, more oil. Once again, and gas leasing near Native American historical site, which the Native Americans, and this is, I don't know, kind of hypocritical, saying he likes Native Americans, he supports them, but then does this. And the Native Americans are opposing us. They want oil leasing to be banned in their area because they get royalties. They want the royalties. I don't blame them. Native Americans, you guys need to vote for Trump or something and vote a Republican this year. So maybe Republicans can do something about this. Okay. Closing in. One party builds momentum in battle for the House this November, which I think is GOP. Fox News power rankings. Democrats build momentum, but GOP still has the advantage. Yes, it is. Election night is 7 weeks away. Oh my gosh. So get out and vote. Register to vote if you're not already voting. Vote early in October, I think, if you can. I don't know. I don't know if you can vote early or not with the midterms, but I know you can vote in October with the 2020 election. But if you can't vote in October, vote on November 8th on election. Register to vote. Vote for Republicans in state Senate, state House of Representatives. If you have like a governor election, vote red. If you for U.S. House and Senate, vote red. Let's do this. Let's have a red wave.
With Mark Meredith. He's reporting live from, where are you? You're in Washington. Hi, Mark.
I am in Washington. Yes, ma'am. But of course, these races are playing out all over the country. Good morning to you, Dana. We're entering the home stretch of the midterm elections, and the latest data from our political team shows there are a lot of toss-up races worth watching nationwide. So you got Democrats and Republicans trying to make these races about two very different issues, which of course prompts the question, which party's going to have the winning strategy when they go for the control of the House and the Senate? For the House, Republicans are still slated to take control, but
72% of Republicans are favored for the House of Representatives. Yeah. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to have victory. Clean up on aisle 46. White House ridiculed, after walking back on Biden's comments on the pandemic. What? Yeah, did you hear, guys, that the pandemic is over? Biden said the pandemic is over. So, and I have an article, too, about that, too, I'm going to tell you about. White House is ridiculed after walking back Biden's statement that pandemic is over. He is not in charge. Ooh. Ted Cruz mocks Biden. Like clockwork, Biden's handlers are out in force. Let's listen to this.
White House correspondent Peter Ducey starts us off tonight live from the North Lawn. Good evening,
Peter does such
Good
a
evening,
great
Brett.
job.
This was President Biden's first sit-down interview with a U.S. reporter in more than 7 months. And in it, we learned White House officials have been holding out on us because it's unclear when or if they planned to tell us the pandemic is a thing of the past.
Which way are we going?
President
it
Biden
always
back
been.
in the U.S. after the Queen's funeral, and the
Not a
country
thing.
has changed a lot since he left.
The pandemic is over.
It wasn't just 4 days ago,
We're dealing with the global challenge of a once-in-a-generation pandemic.
and it isn't for administration officials.
I'm trying to record a video. Stop! I'm trying to film this. I'm trying to film something. Sorry about that. My brother was in here. I don't know what. Okay. I'm trying to record something. Look.
House ridiculed after walking back Biden's statement that pandemic is over. He is not in charge. Ted Cruz mocks Biden like clockwork. Biden's handlers are out in force. Twitter users expressed confusion and outright mockery after the White House walked back President Biden's assertion that the COVID-19 pandemic is over. Biden made his remarks during his interview on Cubs' 60 Minutes on a Sunday, his first interview with an American TV journalist in over 200 days. When asked about the state of the S's fight against the pandemic, Biden told Cubs correspondent Scott Pelley, "The pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over." But according to CNN, an administration official told the outlet that the president's comments do not mark a change in policy toward the administration's handling of the virus, and there are no plans to lift the public health emergency. The current emergency status, which had been announced in January 2020, is still extended through October 13th. However, the fact that the White House had to clarify and essentially walk back the president's claims about the state of the pandemic drew scathing criticism from Biden administration critics, who insisted that this tension between Biden and his staffers may be another hint they do his job for him. "He is not in charge," tweeted the Spectator contributing editor Stephen Miller, who also shared an image of the CNN headline that read, "White House says COVID-19 policy unchanged despite Biden's comments that the pandemic is over." In subsequent tweets, Miller added, "It wasn't a gaffe. It wasn't a slip." He said it pretty definitely twice. In the same interview, he dared anyone who questioned his mental fitness. Here's the example. Right here. Biden reportedly complains that he looks weak. This is why. His own administration undercuts him every time he opens his mouth. He wrote and then asked, is he in charge or not? Republican communications figure Matt Whitlock remarked, fascinating that the White House walked back Biden's comments on Taiwan and COVID, but decided to let his comments that historic inflation is no big deal stand. Like clockwork, Biden's handlers are out in force, commented Senator Ted Cruz of Texas. Claremont Institute Communications Director Nick Short asked what is in response to the notion that Biden isn't in charge of his own administration. Hint, it will never be over. They gained too much from lockdowns, mandates, and wealth transfer. They permanently reorganized the country over a virus. You think they would give that up voluntarily? It's not going away, tweeted conservative commentator Logan Hall. Radio host Derek Hunter mocked Biden, writing, "Didn't Joe say something about just watch him when asked whether or not he has the mental abilities to be president?" One interview, at least 2 walkbacks by staff so far. Watch Abigail Marone, the press secretary for Senator Josh Hawley, or Mo, asked who exactly is running the country here. "We have a non-president," declared Claremont Institute President Ryan P. Williams.
Okay. Interesting. I always thought COVID, was over. California Democrats' life works for entry, boosting Virginia economy by taking jobs away from his state. Ooh, wow. California-based businesses have left the state in droves. You wonder why, right? I don't know if I can't listen to it. That's interesting. And that's not it, but I got some more news stories here from the last couple days. Oh, Los Angeles Dem mayor candidate says that she does not feel safe in her own city. So a Democrat mayor Democrat that's running for Los Angeles mayor says she don't feel safe in her own city. I wonder why. Maybe the border crisis, maybe the the fentanyl crisis getting worse, crime getting worse. I don't know. I wonder why. Los Angeles, just months after giving Los Angeles a 10 out of 10 safety rating, Karen Bass, which is the mayor candidate, I guess. Karen. Okay, admits her safety was shattered following recent home break-in. Oh my gosh. She needs to fix her crime in the city, or a Republican can do that. Let's see. Okay, there's something on here that I saw. I thought it was interesting. There's two more things I want to talk about, I guess. AOC doubles down under Republicans transport migrants to D.C. Crimes against humanity. The far-left Congresswoman AOC Hinken, Florida Governor DeSantis, and Texas Governor Abbott's actions to quote-unquote trafficking. Okay, wow. And that was a post that Fox News did a couple of days ago on their Instagram. I said, would AOC rather Mexicans and be in so-called, like she said back in 2019 or 18, quote-unquote concentration camps, or deported? Would she, AOC, rather migrants that are being flown to vacation spots in Massachusetts and other places in D.C., would she rather have them be safe and sound and finding jobs in Martha's Vineyard and not being deported? Or they're not in concentration camps, like she quote unquote said in 2018 about the southern border. I think D.C. or Martha's Vineyard is a great place for these migrants to go, a safe place away from terrors in Mexico. They have horrible living conditions in their communist states in Mexico. So I think these migrants coming in here, Florida and Texas are doing great things. I think the whole country, we should do this. We should send these migrants to Martha's Vineyard, D.C. where you're safe, where they can find jobs, where they can become citizens easier. I think is a great idea. For them to come over from the border, go and Florida, fly them over to Massachusetts to vacation spot, or drive a bus to DC. I think that's a great idea. Um, Democrats and AOC are so flip-floppy. We all know that. Biden's flip-floppy. Democrats are so flip-floppy all the time and hypocritical. Where would she rather these migrants be? They're not being deported. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't think it's inhumane to send those people to Martha's Vineyard. I never heard of that until now. I never heard of it. I guess it's a vacation place. I bet it's better than living in a communist nation in Mexico. So, if I was a migrant, I would want to go there. It's a free trip. You don't have to pay for a plane ticket or bus ticket, whatever, at all. So I think Florida and Texas are doing a great job, and I think this should be a policy. I don't know. It's kind of better than what we have now. So, Democrats are so hypocritical, though. I don't get it. And she is so hypocritical, too. Where would she rather them go? I don't know. And another thing I want to mention is something very scary, closer to the end times. Recently, Biden administration's wanting to move to a digital currency. Oh my God, we're getting closer to the end times. We're getting close. It might not be the mark of the beast yet, but we're getting closer to that. Now it's getting scary. So people, you better pray about this, and people better get saved, because Jesus is coming back sooner than later. So that's like, I'm not gonna start with the microchip thing yet, but I heard a rumor that jobs are gonna go away. I I don't know how true that is, but I watched a video about this. They said that jobs might go away with this, and this is one they want it to happen in December. I think they're gonna make a bill or something, and have it and make it happen in December. Digital currency. They're saying jobs might go away. We won't have paper money. But we're not going to be used to this. We don't even know how this is going to work. And they're saying that the government controls how much we get, how much money we have, and the money that we have is not going to be worth it anymore. The money that we do save up and stuff like that, we put in a bank account. My guess is we put money in a bank account, and then that money that we have in a bank account will turn digital. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work, and it's freaking me out. They're saying that jobs might go away, which is freaky out. They said the government might control our money and control how we spend it. I don't like that. That's like control. That's like socialism right there. That's what I was warning people about. Cashless. I know it might not be a microchip, but it might be an app on your phone or something, or a device. I don't know. But it's freaking out. I'm freaking out about it. I don't like it. It might not happen. We'll see. Maybe there's Republicans right now, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, in office right now that might go against it. Maybe it'll be something like a Build Back Better thing, where Build Back Better did not get passed. So an election rights did not get passed. I don't think in the House or Senate it stalled. It didn't get passed. It ended up not getting passed. Until they changed the name of it to Inflation Reduction Act, which is a horrible act. By the way, an awful law. It's not a law. Inflation Reduction Law. I think they passed it. I think Biden signed it. I think it's horrible. Or maybe if it does pass, maybe states and stuff will sue and may cause a court case that might go to the Supreme Court, we all know the Supreme Court is very Christian and very less government control and freedom. We have Amy Coney Barrett and so many great conservatives on the court. So we got rid of abortion. We overturned Roe versus Wade. We got rid of the vaccine mandate. Maybe we'll get rid of those too. Maybe banks and stuff will sue, or maybe attorney generals and stuff, and maybe people will sue if this does become a reality, because people want their physical money that they work hard for. Maybe businesses and stuff, and people will sue, and maybe become court case, and maybe go to the Supreme Court. Maybe the Supreme Court, hopefully, if this does become how they will remove it, we can go back to money how it was. It is right now until they change it. Hopefully, they don't change it for a long time, because I'm not, But anyway, if you're fearful of that, if you heard of that story that I just said about the digital currency, if you're fearful of that and not want control of your money, I don't know how true that is or not, but don't get at me if it's not true. But if you want your job, if you want money how it used to be, and if you don't want controlled or socialism with money, with this digital thing, then you need to vote for a Republican this year. Right now. So maybe Republicans, if this bill goes to Congress in December or whatever, and maybe it'll go to Christmas recess maybe until January. In January, the new people will come in, and maybe things will not get passed. Hopefully this bill, whatever this bill is, this proposal, digital currency will not be denied. Hopefully it won't pass. Hopefully, if we get Republicans in the House of Representatives, which we have a 71% chance of getting the House of Representatives, even if we don't in the Senate, if the House don't pass it, the Senate can't pass it. This is over. The bill is over. It dies. So hopefully that's the case. So if you're scared about inflation, if you're scared about recession, if you're scared about digital currency, I hear people are going to start getting laid off. I don't know, with different companies. I don't know. If you're scared of that in different states, if you're scared of crime, if you're scared of the worsening drug crisis, if you want action on that, if you want a safer border and a better immigration policy, if you want just lower gas, if you want changes, positive changes like how it used to be with Trump, for now, you need to vote Republican in November. You need to register to vote. You need to vote Republican for state office and U.S. office and governor. Some governor races. But we need to vote red. We need to have a red wave. And if you're fearful of this, if we want changes, if we want to survive the next 2 years of Biden, we need to, or if we want to survive and create new policy to fix things or get rid of things that Biden has already done, or improve things that Biden has already done, like remove and bring back oil and stuff, then if we want these changes, we need to vote. We need to have a red wave. We need Republican control in the Senate and the House, and that the voters' choice. Okay, it's up to you guys. And I hope so. I hope you guys make the right decisions overall, and vote for Republican, because that's the only way we can have a chance of surviving the next 2 years until Trump, or not just Trump, but it might be until a conservative Republican, MAGA Republican comes back into office, like Trump, not Mike Pence because he's a traitor, but either Trump or DeSantis or Rand Paul or Ted Cruz, or people like that. Vote for them in 2024. Vote for those type of people in 2022 this November, on November 8th. Vote. Vote. Vote for Dr. Oz for Senate. Vote for Republican MAGA senators. Kick out the rhino senators. Kick out the rhino House of Representatives, which we already did with Liz Cheney. That was amazing. But let's do this. If we want changes, if we want better outcomes, if we want to have a chance of survival, of not being totally poor and broke, and whatever, in this country, if we want to try to fix things, let's vote Republican. And let's vote Republican this November. Let's vote Republican in November 2024. Let's have a red wave. Let's have a big victory. And let's